No time for gradual preparation or careful planning. The situation demanded instant, maximum effort with no room for failure. Astener's emotional state shifted from normal consciousness to emergency mode in seconds, triggering the biological cascade that enables superhuman performance. His athletic background likely contributed to the success in multiple ways. Football players train their nervous systems to recruit large numbers of muscle fibers quickly and coordinate complex movements under pressure. Astener's body already knew how to generate maximum force output, even though it had never before accessed the full range of that output. When his emergency response systems overrode normal strength limitations, he had the physical foundation and neuromuscular coordination needed to channel that superhuman strength effectively. This case demonstrates how multiple factors must align for hysterical strength to occur. Astener possessed the physical foundation through his athletic training. The situation provided genuine life or death stakes that triggered his emergency response systems. The timing was crucial. Immediate action was required with no opportunity for hesitation or doubt. The emotional component was powerful, saving another person's life rather than just performing a physical challenge. The Astener rescue also illustrates why these superhuman feats can't be replicated in controlled settings. Laboratory conditions can't recreate the perfect storm of genuine emergency, emotional intensity, and life-threatening stakes that trigger maximum strength access. Scientists can measure the physiological changes and document the strength increases, but they can't artificially create the psychological and emotional conditions that make hysterical strength possible. Perhaps most importantly, this case shows that hysterical strength isn't random or unpredictable. It occurs when specific biological and psychological triggers align during genuine emergencies. Astener's body detected a life-threatening situation, assessed that normal strength would be inadequate, and automatically initiated the override systems that granted access to his hidden power. The process happened faster than conscious thought, and more powerfully than any training could achieve. The success of this rescue demonstrates that every human body contains the biological machinery for superhuman performance. Astener wasn't born with special abilities or supernatural powers. He was an ordinary person whose body accessed extraordinary capabilities when circumstances demanded them. His story proves that the same potential exists in everyone, waiting for the right combination of emergency conditions to unlock it. Understanding cases like Astener's rescue reveals both the remarkable nature of human biology and the serious reality that accessing this hidden strength comes at a significant cost. When someone performs impossible feats during emergencies, they're not just displaying superhuman power, they're also pushing their body far beyond its safe operating limits. The price of superhuman power. The physical consequences of these rescues reveal why your body keeps this power locked away under normal circumstances. Every superhuman feat comes with a sobering reality that rarely makes it into the heroic retellings. When your body overrides its carefully designed safety systems to grant access to impossible strength, you don't just gain extraordinary power, you also expose yourself to extraordinary damage. The same biological mechanisms that protect you during daily activities become your greatest vulnerability when they get bypassed during emergencies. Your muscles, tendons, joints, and bones exist within a delicate ecosystem of balanced forces and protective limitations. These systems evolved over millions of years to keep you functional and injury-free during normal activities. Your brain continuously monitors the stress on these structures and prevents you from generating force levels that could cause catastrophic damage. This protection works so well that most people never experience serious musculoskeletal injuries during routine physical activities, even when pushing themselves to their perceived limits. But hysterical strength events completely shatter these protective boundaries. When your nervous system overrides its normal safety protocols and grants access to maximum muscle fiber recruitment, it essentially removes the biological guardrails that prevent self-destruction. Your muscles suddenly generate force levels that can tear apart the very structures they're supposed to protect. The same strength that enables car lifting can also rip muscle fibers away from their attachments and stress joints beyond their structural limits. The muscle damage begins at the microscopic level but quickly escalates to injuries visible to the naked eye. When nearly 100% of your muscle fibers contract simultaneously with maximum force, they create internal pressures that your muscle tissue wasn't designed to handle. Individual muscle fibers stretch beyond their elastic limits and tear. Groups of fibers separate from their connective tissue anchors. The organized structure of your muscles breaks down under the extreme forces they're generating. These aren't the minor muscle tears that occur during intense exercise and heal within days. Accessing full strength tears muscle fibers and strains tendons and joints, leading to severe injuries and months of rehab, as swimmers in studies often collapse after rescues. The sheer scale of simultaneous muscle activation means that injuries can occur throughout multiple muscle groups at once, creating widespread damage that overwhelms your body's normal healing capabilities. Joint stress during these episodes reaches levels that would normally be impossible to achieve. Your joints are designed to handle specific ranges of force and motion based on the strength limitations your nervous system normally maintains. When those limitations disappear, your joints suddenly experience forces that can damage cartilage, stretch ligaments, and stress the joint capsules that hold everything together. The mechanical stress can cause immediate injury or create wear patterns that lead to long-term joint problems. Your tendons face perhaps the greatest risk during hysterical strength events. These connective tissues link your muscles to your bones and must transmit all the force your muscles generate. Under normal circumstances, your brain prevents muscle contractions that would create tendon forces beyond safe limits. But when maximum muscle fiber recruitment occurs, your tendons must suddenly handle force loads they were never designed to carry. The result can be partial or complete tendon ruptures that require surgical repair and months of rehabilitation. The immediate aftermath of accessing superhuman strength often resembles the effects of a serious car accident or major athletic injury. People who lift cars during emergencies frequently report feeling completely drained and experiencing widespread pain throughout their bodies. The adrenaline that enabled their impossible feat begins wearing off, and the full extent of the physical damage becomes apparent. What felt empowering during the emergency transforms into a painful reminder of the body's limitations. Hannah Smith's experience after helping lift a tractor off her father illustrates the severe physical toll these episodes exact. She collapsed from exhaustion immediately after the rescue and remained bedridden for 2 weeks, having strained every muscle in her body. Her recovery period demonstrates that accessing superhuman strength isn't just temporarily exhausting. It can create injuries that require extensive healing time and potentially cause lasting physical effects. The pain that follows hysterical strength episodes goes beyond normal muscle soreness. It involves deep tissue damage, inflammatory responses, and the kind of systemic exhaustion that occurs when your body's resources get completely depleted. Your liver, which dumped its glucose stores to fuel the superhuman effort, needs time to rebuild its energy reserves. Your cardiovascular system, which operated at maximum capacity during the emergency, requires recovery from the extreme workload. These episodes remain necessarily brief because your body simply cannot sustain the forces and energy demands involved in maximum strength output. Scientists estimate that true hysterical strength can only be maintained for a few minutes at most before causing potentially fatal damage to your cardiovascular system or musculoskeletal structure. Your body grants access to this power only when the immediate benefits of survival outweigh the guaranteed costs of physical damage. The temporary nature of hysterical strength reveals the sophisticated wisdom built into your biological systems. Your brain doesn't limit your strength out of conservatism or inefficiency. It protects you from forces that would literally tear your body apart. The normal safety protocols that prevent you from accessing maximum muscle power exist because using that power, even briefly, can cause injuries that take months to heal and sometimes never fully recover. Recovery from hysterical strength episodes often involves a complex rehabilitation process similar to what athletes undergo after major injuries. The widespread muscle damage requires careful rebuilding of strength and flexibility. Joint stress may need ongoing management to prevent long-term problems. The cardiovascular strain can leave lasting effects on heart function and blood pressure regulation. Some people never fully return to their pre-incident physical capabilities. Long-term effects can include chronic pain, reduced range of motion, and increased susceptibility to future injuries. The muscles and joints that were stressed beyond their limits during the hysterical strength episode may never regain their original resilience. This creates a tragic irony. The people who access superhuman strength to save others often live with permanent reminders of their heroic moments in the form of ongoing physical limitations. Understanding these consequences helps explain why hysterical strength remains an emergency-only biological response. Your body possesses the machinery for superhuman performance, but it also understands the devastating costs involved in using that machinery. The protective limitations that normally govern your strength exist to preserve your long-term health and functionality. When those protections get overridden during life-threatening situations, your body makes a calculated sacrifice, trading future physical well-being for immediate survival capability. Yet despite these sobering physical costs, documented cases reveal a fascinating pattern. These rescues happen disproportionately when people are saving others rather than themselves. Something about the emotional stakes involved in protecting another person seems to unlock even greater levels of this dangerous power. The question becomes, what psychological forces could be so powerful that they convince your body to risk devastating injury? The mind's role in impossible feats. The answer lies in understanding how emotional intensity and protective instincts can override your body's most fundamental safety systems. Your emotional state doesn't just influence your physical performance, it completely rewrites the rules of what your body considers possible. The connection between mind and muscle goes far deeper than simple motivation or willpower. When your emotional intensity reaches extreme levels, it triggers biological responses that can literally transform your physical capabilities in ways that seem to violate everything you thought you knew about human limitations. Scientists have discovered that your brain's perception of the stakes involved directly affects how much strength your body allows you to access. During routine physical activities, your emotional investment remains relatively low, and your nervous system maintains strict protective limitations on muscle activation. But when your mind perceives genuine life-threatening danger, especially to someone you care about, those limitations can disappear almost instantly. The emotional weight of the situation becomes the key that unlocks your hidden strength potential. Here's where the psychology of hysterical strength becomes truly fascinating. These impossible feats almost never occur when people are trying to save themselves. Instead, they happen when someone is desperately trying to rescue another person from immediate danger. Parents lift cars off their children. Neighbors rescue strangers trapped under fallen objects. Athletes help teammates escape dangerous situations. The pattern is so consistent that it reveals something profound about human nature and our biological response systems. This focus on saving others rather than self-preservation creates a unique psychological state that seems essential for accessing maximum strength. When you're facing personal danger, your brain still maintains some protective limitations because it needs to balance immediate survival against long-term physical integrity. But when someone else's life is at stake, those calculations change completely. Your brain becomes willing to sacrifice your long-term physical well-being to generate the strength needed to save another person. The altruistic drive combines with intense emotional states to create a psychological perfect storm. Fear, desperation, love, and protective instincts all serve simultaneously, overwhelming your nervous system's normal decision-making processes. This emotional intensity doesn't just motivate you to try harder, it actually triggers the biological mechanisms that override your strength limitations. Your feelings become the catalyst that transforms ordinary muscle activation into superhuman performance. Desperation plays a particularly crucial role in this transformation. When you truly believe that someone will die unless you perform an impossible feat, your brain enters a state where normal limitations become irrelevant. This isn't casual concern or mild worry. It's the absolute certainty that failure means death. That level of psychological pressure can trigger biological responses that simply don't occur during normal stress or even intense athletic competition. Focus becomes incredibly narrow during these episodes, creating what psychologists call tunnel vision. Your mind blocks out everything except the immediate task of generating enough force to save a life. Distractions disappear. Self-doubt vanishes. Physical discomfort becomes irrelevant. Your entire consciousness narrows to a single point of absolute determination. This mental focusing doesn't just improve your concentration, it actually helps your nervous system coordinate the massive muscle activation needed for superhuman strength. Protective instincts add another layer to the psychological equation. When you witness someone in mortal danger, especially a family member or child, you experience an emotional response that bypasses rational thought completely. These instincts evolved over millions of years to help our ancestors protect their offspring and communities from threats. They operate at a level below conscious awareness, triggering automatic responses that prioritize saving lives over personal safety or physical limitations. What makes these psychological factors even more remarkable is how they interact with your conscious mind. During hysterical strength episodes, your normal thinking processes essentially get bypassed or overridden by more primitive brain circuits. Your visual centers may not even fully process what's happening before your fight or flight response begins. This allows you to react with superhuman speed and strength before you consciously understand the situation. The bypassing of conscious thought explains why people often describe these experiences as feeling automatic or involuntary. They don't consciously decide to lift a car. Their body simply does it in response to the emergency. The rational part of their brain that normally considers physical limitations and calculates risk gets temporarily shut down. Instead, ancient survival circuits take control and initiate whatever biological responses are necessary to handle the crisis. This automatic response system explains why people can jump out of the path of an oncoming car before they even think about what they're doing. Their brain detects danger and initiates evasive action faster than conscious thought can process the threat. The same rapid response system that enables split-second danger avoidance also enables instant access to superhuman strength when circumstances demand it. Training and preparation rarely replicate these extraordinary psychological conditions, which is why controlled studies of hysterical strength consistently fail to reproduce the strength levels documented during real emergencies. Laboratory settings can't create genuine life or death stakes. Research participants know they're safe, so their emotional intensity remains relatively low. Their protective instincts don't activate because no one is actually in mortal danger. The psychological perfect storm that enables maximum strength access simply doesn't exist in controlled environments. Athletic training can improve your baseline strength and teach your nervous system to recruit more muscle fibers during voluntary contractions. But even the most intense training cannot replicate the emotional and psychological conditions that trigger hysterical strength. Elite athletes might access 95% of their theoretical strength potential through years of training, but they still can't reach the 100% recruitment that becomes possible during genuine emergencies. The psychological preparation that might seem relevant, visualization techniques, mental toughness training, or stress conditioning, also fails to create the necessary conditions. These methods can improve performance under pressure and help you stay calm during stressful situations. But they can't artificially generate the life or death emotional intensity that your brain requires before it will override its protective strength limitations. The perfect storm of psychology and biology that creates hysterical strength requires multiple factors to align simultaneously. You need genuine life-threatening stakes that trigger your deepest protective instincts. You need emotional intensity that overwhelms normal decision-making processes. You need the automatic bypass of conscious limitations that only occurs during true emergencies. When all these psychological elements combine with the biological mechanisms you've learned about, they create moments when ordinary humans can perform impossible feats. Understanding this psychological component reveals that hysterical strength isn't just about accessing hidden physical power. It's about your mind temporarily rewriting the rules that normally govern what your body considers possible. The combination of extreme emotion, protective drive, and automatic response creates a unique mental state that enables biological capabilities you never knew existed. If you can access superhuman strength in emergencies, what other abilities might lie dormant within you? The phenomenon reveals something extraordinary about the design of human biology itself. The implications of hysterical strength stretch far beyond the ability to lift cars during emergencies. The existence of this phenomenon challenges everything we think we know about human limitations and raises profound questions about the untapped potential that exists within every person. Consider what this means for our understanding of human performance. Your brain actively suppresses approximately 70% of your muscle capacity during normal activities. This suggests that the boundaries you experience in daily life aren't actually limits. They're protective restrictions designed to keep you safe. If these restrictions can be overridden during emergencies to access impossible strength, what other biological capabilities might your brain be holding in reserve? Scientists have documented cases of people displaying enhanced sensory abilities during extreme stress. Mothers report hearing their children's cries from impossible distances during emergencies. People describe seeing with crystal clarity in complete darkness when searching for trapped victims. Others experience dramatically slowed perception of time during life-threatening situations, allowing them to react with superhuman speed and precision. These abilities suggest that your nervous system contains sensory reserves that parallel the strength reserves involved in hysterical strength. Your pain tolerance also appears to have hidden depths that emerge during genuine crises. People who use access hysterical strength often report feeling no pain while performing impossible feats, even when they later discover they sustained serious injuries during the effort. This suggests your brain can completely suppress pain signals when survival demands it.